This is a picture of Michael Hastings, who just was killed on Tuesday, I think it was June 18th, 2013, in a bizarre car accident in Los Angeles, right? Now, I'm going to tell you what this whole deal is. It doesn't add up to me at all. I'm not going to actually present something where I got proof that, the Illuminati did it or something, or they shut him up because of other criticisms he made besides General Crystal, because he was the guy that brought down General Stanley McChrystal's. Basically, he's due to his investigative reporting. That's usually what's being told on the major media. But first I want you to look at this car. This is a brand new Mercedes. It's blown up into a worse than you would see like the old Ford Pintos. They used to say the problem with the gas tanks in the back, if they got rear-ended, they can catch on fire. Well, this is an explosion worthy of the worst of the Hollywood drama movies out there. So I have to say, my suspicion on this is red flag all the way to the right. It's almost like, my reaction to this is almost like when I looked at the Oklahoma City bombing and I says, that was a fertilizer bomb. Or when I looked at the Twin Towers in New York coming down, before even Building 7 came down, somehow I said, this ain't right. And even Sonny Bono, when he died of the skiing accident, just kind of rammed into a tree full speed and died after criticizing the investigation of Waco and Janet Reno, right? Well, I'm going to point out what this guy just criticized, because, it wasn't just about General Stanley McChrystal's resignation. His last article was why Democrats love to spy on Americans. That was his last story, right? Why Democrats love to spy on Americans, right? And here's his car. So this is a brand new Mercedes. I'd feel better and safer in a Model T, to tell you the truth, or a Model A. But his last article was why Democrats love to spy on Americans. Was a seething take. He was basically really putting the screws down to the NSA, no such agency, the National Security Agency, about the big snooping scandal, which he described as North Korean-like. Basically, the worst of the communists, because even the Chinese communists under Mao Zedong considered the North Koreans extreme. So when he's putting that kind of word on the NSA, it's extreme, right? So he pulled no punches. He linked the NSA scandal to the Department of Justice spying on reporters and the IRS abuse scandal, basically where Obama told, the IRS to investigate his political enemies, So he built a case against the current regime out there, And, you're looking at his car, right? Brand new Mercedes. Usually these kind of cars, you think, if you get from the side, you get from the front, it's not going to blow up. You got airbags. It reminds me of Princess Di just freaking falling at croaking too. She said a couple things wrong too, right? Now, I'm not going to give you any proof, like, oh, they found a thing in a car that caused the accident or something. I don't know. But I'm just looking at what he criticized. This is his last article. Why Democrats love to spy on Americans. He brought out all this stuff about the NSA, the IRS abuse scandal, and he says actually the Obama administration and all these Democrats that were criticizing the Republicans before, they actually, if we went further, and I'm not getting political here, but I'm just saying is he was criticizing like the Nazi Gestapo communist regime. You know what I mean? That's what he was doing. The rogue government, man, where all the black ops budget goes. And this is his brand new Mercedes. I think that's a good picture there. But anyway, when it hit, according to the witness, it sounded like a bomb went off in the middle of the night. I said, wow, that's a pretty good description. Bomb went off, right? My house was shaking, and my windows were rattling. And the engine block of the car flew 90 to 120 feet from the car. The engine block, some people said 50 feet, some people said 30 yards to 40 yards, which is 90 to 120 feet. So, brand new Mercedes, man. It's not like they bolted together a rust bucket and the front end alignment was all screwed up, and they had a 55-gallon drum as a gas tank in the back and it was full. No, it's a brand new Mercedes. So I'm laughing, but and I also got to point out something out because right around this time here, silver's getting taken a hit. But if you had like $500,000 worth of fiat currency in this car, it would be like nothing, right? And if you had $100,000 worth of silver coins, you'll still take it out of there and still work, right? And that's another thing you got to put into mind. I just want to interject that. But this looks like to me, let me put it this way. I think this guy was killed. I'm just saying that. Man, that's a conspiracy theory, all right? I mean, it's just like Congressman Larry McDonald and, Flight KAL-007 that disappeared near Korea and nobody came back, right? Because he was like the biggest anti-communist going, right? Here's Michael Hastings. He's the big critic of the current regime, the NSA spying, snooping on Americans. And his brand new Mercedes blows up better than 50 Pintos would ever blown up back in the day. You know what I mean? Ford Pintos. So something don't add up here. That's all I got to say. I mean, it's like I'm not going to give you an answer like here's the proof, but I have to go by this. It's like smell. And like to tell you, my senses are pretty good. This guy was murdered. And I'm going to tell you another guy I think was murdered a long time ago. And you could say it's even like this even looks more like a murder to me because of the way the car blew up, brand new Mercedes. But remember Sonny Bono had his skiing accident and he just like slammed into a tree and died. If you ever watch some of the stuff to where he was criticizing because all these other politicians were sitting there like with their mouths shut about Waco and how they burned up the children and stuff like that, and they were basically treating Janet Reno with kid gloves most of the time, but not Sonny Bono. He was just bringing out common sense questions, so he's done. Now I don't like getting too far out on a limb with these conspiracy theories but I think when I present one, I think the average person isn't going to say it's legit. They're going to say, oh, no. But actually, I think most of the time I'm on the money with this type of stuff. I think this guy was killed on purpose because he was a big critic of the NSA. So they got a lot of power, What else is new, right? Don't worry about it. So, and actually, I'd be scared to drive a Mercedes if it does that stuff. So maybe they ought to have an investigation looking at what's wrong with their damn cars, right? And maybe that'll turn up what really happened.